Hello everyone and welcome to CWC F2 Season 7 Round 19 for the final round here for the Chinese GP. China being the end race again. Haven't seen that in, well, it hasn't been the end race, but it was the penultimate round for many of years back in the mid-2000s. Now it is finally the final round, as they would say, here in CWC. We'll take a quick look at the standings here because sadly, to quickly run over them. Sadly, Abu Dhabi sadly was not being able to be broadcast due to a bit of a issue on my end. And sadly, the championship was wrapped up last week with Kai's F1 end up securing the championship with 200 and I can't zoom in, 61 points, I believe, is that what that says, with Smitty currently in second at 204 and Maddie at 203 respectively. Kano being in fourth with 179 and Leslie Twig rounding out your top five with 148. And with Kai's F1 locking up the championship and with McLaren locking up the constructors, not much else to fight for here other than pride, but hey, it's still a good equalizer to give some drivers a chance to be ready to go. Gonna let the commander know we are all good here on the broadcasting side, and we will be ready to start as we are officially readying up here for the final round here in China. And like I said, championship may not be on the line, and the constructors may not be on the line, but pride of ending the season on a high note, being able to give yourself good momentum going to the next season is all the play for here. Like a team with a losing record or a team that's not going to make playoffs, you're not going to win the championship, but you can set yourself up for a good springboard going into next season. So we got 10 seconds to go before we start. As I got to get untangled here. Very snowy day out here, at least for my neck of the woods, but I don't think it's going to be snowing much in China, so we won't really have to worry with snow, but there's always a chance at rain here in China. As, honestly, I don't think I've commentated so far once in China on this game cycle. It was added, obviously, since it was removed because the 2020 you-know-what happened thing. Because, obviously, I don't want to say it because we may get demonetized or age-restricted or whatever. But you know what happened in 2020 and 2021. And because of that, it was removed for the last 2 games. And because of that, not games, but removed from the F1 calendar, it was in the games. And because of that, not many leagues decided to run this track. And also, I don't think a lot of drivers are the biggest fans of the circuit as well. So you haven't seen it on a lot of calendars and leagues I've done. But here we are here for China. Finally get to see it again in all its glory in F1 2021. So as we're finishing ready up here, we're going to have 11 drivers here today. Again, odds are favorite is still probably Kai's F1, our Season 7 F2 champion who had a hell of a season coming in late, joining from F1, F2, and was able to kind of spank the fields, they would say, and put on a tear that no one could really match. I think a few drivers could, but sadly, due to restraints and scheduling conflicts, they were not able to finish up this calendar. But going the next season, Kai's may make the jump back up to F1. And we may see some new faces here as well, as I will quickly say, if you are watching this, if you like what you see in this league, there's openings for F1 and F2. So it may be on different days next season, I'm not 100%, but there are going to be openings. And if you want to join this grid and show what you have, what it takes to maybe be the fastest in F2 or F1, come join CWC today. Now the little mini plug is over, we wait for the first driver to head out there. It is usually Exelic, but sometimes it's Reds. So we'll see who takes the first lunge. I think it is Mercedes. I'm going to guess it's Scanny. Unless it could, yep, it is going to be Scanny taking his first run here in his Mercedes. Something else worth to note is the black Mercedes is going away for next year's game. So we will see, because there will be another season of CWC on this title. But when Season 9 does come around, that Mercedes will no longer be black. It will be a gray Mercedes once again. So as they do get rubbered in the circuit, we also see a Williams of Jay Leakey and a Alpine of Assassinbot. Good to see Assassinbot here. Due to scheduling conflicts, he had to drop the league full-time, but he's had an opening with it being a holiday, at least in the States, and I'm thinking maybe in some regions of Canada, but probably not. It's just a state holiday. But he has time off regardless, so he is here to run here today in China. And hoping for a good result, because he's had some pretty poor results this season. I don't think he'd have no problem me saying that, and hoping maybe to try to put the monkey off his back and get a good start here today. So we got Scanny going around the second corner here, second sector. Got to get back in the swing of things. End of sector, and we'll be starting the third. Gonna have the long run down the straight, and he will be the first runner here to start a run on China. So going down the long straight here, looks like no other drivers really made a break here, maybe making some last-minute setup changes. Don't have any clue about the weather yet. No local weatherman has come in and let me know. It could be dry. I'm going to assume because it's a dry quali, I'm going to take a guess. It looks like there's not even a cloud in the sky. Quickly cut on board. Yeah, that's a bright blue sky. No chance at rain. Does look a little smoggy, though, but I doubt that means rain is coming. And we also have a possibly, it could prolong to a dry race. But anyway, here comes Scanny down the long straight. We'll ride on board with him as soon as I plug something in. There we go. Here we go. Scanny running down long corner one here. Want to get it break. And this is kind of an interesting corner because you want to go wide, then arc it back in. Get the car down the fourth, maybe third gear. And then you don't want to go too wide because you don't want to compromise the exit here. It's a nice little snake section. Really fun for F1 cars, but a little bit of a pain for GT cars. Past the Pirelli sign here. You're going to hit the end of sector 1. Going to look for about the 150, 100 meter board. That is where you're going to brake. Just the edge of the rumple strip. Going to turn in, get the car down in a second, get a good rotation. Don't want to spin the tires on exit. Now you're going to go from the sweeping left to right where if you on older tires or the car isn't as rubber downforce as you can see here, Scanny, good example there, maybe not running enough downforce in the car, ends up swirling it out there, and it is going to compromise his run, but he's going to keep it going. It's still on track, so he's at least going to have a lap at this. So the time will still be at least put down. Past that section where, again, back end can kick out. And probably one of the corners I hate in this game the most is right here where you get down the 50-meter board. It never seems you can get the power just right. Go a little bit too early on the power, the car spins. Go a little bit too late, and you get a poor exit. So you just have to try to compromise your run. Then you got down the long straight where you're going to see a majority of our passes here today with DRS. Going to go past the Armco sign, full throttle, use all the ERS, use all the DRS, use all the energy deployment as well. Use everything you got. Going to go past, going to brake right about the 100-meter board, right at the rumple strip. Brake in, get to about second gear, brake hard into the apex. You got one more corner to go, a corner where it's very easy to cut it as you want to get as much time on the inside as you can or validate on the outside. So you're going to see a lot of penalties get racked up here. Too early, you take the ball out too far, and you end up running wide and invalidating. And that is a lap around China. That's a 134.452. We have a few drivers behind him on runs. I think Jay Leakey may have invalidated. Actually, he's the next driver up. We got Leakey, and then we got Assassinbot next on times. So Leakey next. Can he take pole position? No, he'll not. He'll be P2 with a 141. I think he may have made a mistake in the S section. Behind them both Assassinbot, but he is coming in on a run as he's lost his front wing. We do have Kai's our champion at large here. He's on a run, so we'll let him kind of guide us around here as well. One Mercedes to another Mercedes. As you see, he's also on a set of medium tires. Yellow flag sector 2. That looks like it is Scanny going a bit on the slow side just to kind of let him down. So back to Kai's F1 here on a set of mediums. Coming through the Pirelli sign, he will be at a 24.579, which is technically probably provisional P1, considering that both Scanny and Leakey didn't have the greatest laps on their soft. So I will take that purple sector and say it's probably correct. For the S section here again, it's just a situation where if you don't run enough downforce, the car will get a little squirrely, and if you take a bad line, you really compromise yourself. It's like the Suzuka S's or Maggots and Beckett's in Britain, where if you get a bad line and you don't take it correctly, you will end up kind of botching yourself some time and cost yourself a run. Then at the end of Sector 2 here, he was, I think, at 54 if I'm not mistaken, so we'll see where he is at Sector 3 here. We do got Kermit behind him. We'll see what he is. He also does have a purple Sector 2, and he is on a set of softs, so maybe he could snatch it away from Kai, who I think is a provisional pole sitter right now with his time. But other than that, we do got Reds on a run, so he'll be first here. We'll see what he can do on a set of mediums. No spring chicken. Can he set provisional pole? He can with a 133.026. Behind them is Scanny coming in, and then we got Jay Leakey on a second run. We'll see if he improves. Yes, he does. That will be P2 for him. Here comes Kai's F1 through the last corner. Can he beat a 133.026? He cannot. It will be Red still on top, but here comes Kermit through the last corner. The Mr. Frogman. Can he get past on pole, provisional pole? He can by well over 2 seconds, showing the advantage those softs have. Then we got Maddie as well in a set of softs, but he's not currently on. He's on a run, but he is currently through second sector. I was thinking that was Smitty, but Smitty was. I thought they were flip-flopped. Smitty's about to go through the last corner. Maddie's about to hit the end of sector 2. I thought it was reversed. So anyway, we'll see what Maddie's at the end of Sector 2 if his time is still purple. It says it is, but it's always a little bit of a take it with a grain of salt situation. Maddie is fast, so I'm not going to discredit that time. But you always take those purple sectors with grain of salt when you can't see the sector times on the right there to kind of compare with. So down the long straight, Collins has retired. I think he retired from the pit lane. I don't think he has any sort of penalty or holdback situation. I'll quickly check that as we watch the end of Maddie's run here as he goes to the last couple corners. I think he just decided to Yep, I don't see anything in the race director that assumes that he would be getting an ELO. So we're going to see what happens here. Maddie goes permission to pole, so that purple sector was no lie. And now Maddie's P1. So good for Maddie in the McLaren. Again, got the constructors locked up for the team. He's had a great season. Now just trying to fight off a last-second charge from Smitty and ensure second in the standings. I think Jay Leakey's coming in. Yes, he is. The other Williams, I think... Sassabot in the Alpine. No matter how much I see those colors, they always throw me off. So he's on a run. Smitty's on a run as well through Sector 1. He's lost the back end actually through Sector 3. And that can happen as, again, just a little bit of too much of a throttle there input. And the car has spun out. So any chance of getting a competitive run is gone. There's grass on the tires. He could take a second run at if he saves his ERS. We'll have to wait and see if he elects to do that or decides to pull in. A Sassabot through Sector 1 right now at 25.047. Keeping it relatively okay. We'll see what the Canadian can do for his times. So back to Smitty. We'll just see if he elects to take a second run here or decide to pull in his McLaren. Could go either way. Wouldn't be shocked which way he decides. And it looks like he is going to back it up and go for a second run here. So the McLaren car is going for a second push. We'll see what he can do on his run. Other than that, we'll see who else is out there. Sassabot through Sector 2 does have a purple Sector 2, but I'm more inclined to take that with a grain of salt as he just lost the back end. I think I gave him a bit of a commentator's curse there by riding on board with him, and he's now got a broken front wing, and he'll have to pit and take a second run at this, or I guess a third run now, and hopefully he can get it refired. Back to Maddie. I think he's on a cool run. Yes, he is. Other than that, we do got a Sassabot still in the kitty litter, as they would say. Smitty, 1/10 up currently on his times, has a 150, so... We're right. He didn't make a mistake in Sector 1, though, so let's kind of take that with a grain of salt as well, because it's a 150, but he spun coming out of the third sector, or the start of the third sector. So these first two times may be somewhat around the same wavelength, and we'll have to see how much time he can improve in the third. Lesty is on an outrun. We got Assassinbot. I'm just trying to check in the field. I think Kai's is, yep, he's left the pit lane, but Scanny's also on a run as well, currently on a set of... I believe, I'm going to say it's mediums. Yes, he is on a set of mediums as well. Just want to make sure that was on fitted tire, not best tire. Smitty coming around the last corner again. No mistake this time around. Keeping the throttle clean and keeping the input good. So we'll see what he can do here. If he can put a better time down the board. He's obviously going to put a better time on the board because he didn't spin. But how fast will it be? 2 corners to go here. Gets a relatively good exit off the first one here. One more. Don't want to go too wide. Don't want to invalidate. So we'll see as he gets to the push here. Going to hard inside. Goes just a little bit wide. Gets a good exit. You can see where the tire line is. That's the optimal line. And it's going to be a 1:33.520. So put Smitty up to P5. And behind him, I believe, is Lesty about to start a run. So the Brit's on a run on a set of softs. And I'm just trying to see who else is going right now. I think Scanny is currently up. He's on the last sector here, so we'll see. He's currently 5 temps up according to the board. So we'll see if he can. That would put him right around currently P7, so that would put him probably P6. But he's going to have to find some more time. Oh, he gets a little bit squirrely off entry there, and it's going to be a 1:34.734. So yeah, lost time there. Looks like he lost time in the third sector. Jay Leakey on a run, but he's going to start an outrun. We also got Kai's, who's about to start a run as well on a set of mediums. Same mediums he set that P4 time on. Other than that, we do got Smitty, but I assume he's on a cool run. Yes, he is. Yeah, so Lesty's the only driver currently on a run that's currently in Sector 2, so we'll keep an eye on board with him and see what he can do on his softs. One of only 4 drivers that are currently still not retired that are going to possibly have a chance to put down a time. Only drivers not even head out track yet are Exelic and Infinite, so both drivers maybe trying to get last single setups, or maybe just don't think they can put down a competitive time, and maybe going to take advantage, because if both don't qualify, then we'll get fresh choice tires, so that is another strategy as well. So Lesty coming through the last 2 corners here, going to brake hard, get the apex, get a little bit of a squirrel out. Last corner, can he get a good run? It looks like I'm going to have to take a guess here. It's going to be a 1:30, between a 1:31 and a 1:33. It's going to be a 1:32.324. I was correct. Between a 1:31 and a 1:33, sandwiched in the middle, that will be P3. Third fastest of the soft runners currently on softs. Because it goes 3 soft runners, and then 3 medium runners, and then 2 more soft runners. So soft bread with medium meat, as they would say. But Kai's F1 could maybe jump at that top 3 echelon with his run. We got him, Leakey, and Scanny as well. So Scanny first up here. Can he get any higher on those mediums? Yes, he can prove his time, but not going to go any higher. Jay Leakey on behind here. Can Jay Leakey put down a time that's competitive? 1:31.324. That will put a P3 at 6. He'll split the medium runners. Assassinbot about to start an outrun, and then we got Kai's F1 here as he's going to pull off into the pit lane. 5 minutes to go. He's currently P5. Not even the fastest medium runner. Does he maybe take an alt strategy here and go for a set of softs to try to get pole position? We'll have to wait and see what the Mercedes man does. So Scanny, Assassinbot, just going to kind of cut through here. Lesty's obviously on a cooldown run. So yeah, I think Assassinbot's one of the only drivers on a full push lap here, as everyone else has had 1 or 2 laps on their tires. I know Jay Leakey always loves to do a second run, so we'll see what he can do. But Assassinbot, only driver, I guess you could say is on the most competitive run, but obviously I've eaten my words before, where I've seen drivers have cut away and they've improved their second or third run, so I'll probably eat my words again here. Actually, Infinity has headed on the circuit, so in the Alfa Romeo, so that means only driver not to take at least 1 lap in the session so far, or at least attempt a lap, is Exelic, so bit of a shock. So we got, I believe that's Jay Leakey, actually that's Lesty coming in, and Infinity about to start a run, and then ahead of them both is Scanny, so we'll see what will happen, as Assassinbot has not made a mistake so far. Relatively clean run, can maybe jump himself up into that 133 echelon if he puts down a good time here. 2 quarters to go. Hope I didn't jinx him. Gonna knock on wood. And we'll see what he can do. Last corner here. Hopefully the Williams does not impede him too much. I think the Williams is coming in. Yes, he is. Now Assassinbot through the last corner. It's going to be a 1:33.821, which will be P8 between Smitty and Scanny. So that means the only other driver on a run right now is Infinite, so we'll keep on board with them. We got them and Assassinbot. Assassinbot is on still another lap here, so we'll see what he can do on a second go-around, but see if he decides to keep going or decide to push. I'll just quickly check telemetry and see how much ERS he's used. He's probably got enough he could take in a second attempt. I think he's 5/10 down, so I think he may be on a cooler lap. Maybe he made a mistake, I'm not 100%, but could go for a second run if he wanted to. So back to Infinite. When only 2 drivers not to set a time there, currently still can set times. Maddie, our current pole sitter, is making another run at it with 3 minutes to go. And every other driver's staying in, but I think they'll make a break because the lap run is about 1:31, so they'll probably make a break with about 2:30 left on the clock, where we see a lot of them kind of line out. So we got probably another minute before we see a mass rush to pit exit for one more go-around. This is probably Infinite's only chance of putting down a time, because with 3:11, unless they pull in the pit lanes early here, they aren't going to have enough time to make a second run, but they're going to take this time here, and it's going to be a 1:34.470 P10 for the driver origins I don't remember. But we do see another driver heading out there. It looks like an Alp. It's not an Alpine, because the only Alpine, actually, yeah, the other Alpine's here. I'm not 100% who it is. I think it's Lesty. It is Lesty. So Lesty going out, actually, sorry, it's Reds. But yeah, top 4 all on out laps. Assassinbot coming in with 2 minutes to go. If he makes a quick tire change, he could go for one more run if he so chooses. So yeah, it's probably session done because Infinite has it validated. It's probably session over from Infinite. P10 is as high as they will go. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 6 all on runs. And I wouldn't be see if Kai's F1. Yep, he is also going out there as well. So top 6 all going out there. Top 6 all going to take a set of softs out there with them. Only driver that's on a set of mediums they qualify on is Smitty. And we'll see if he decides to maybe break out. As we do see Scanny coming out as well. Maddie about to start a run. We'll cut to him in a second. But yeah, only driver not to put down a... Actually, only driver currently, if Reds and Kai's don't improve or invalidate, they'll start a mediums. But every other driver is electing to try to get on a set of softs here. Maddie gets a poor first corner there. Flips the grass. Going to compensate some speed there. We'll see if he can recover and rebound. With 1:45 to go, he's going to have one attempt at it. If he can get around quick, he does have enough time to make a second go-around, as he will hit the line with a second run, but he needs to, if he doesn't feel like this lap's good, he may decide to back it off and go for a second push. Assassinbot has retired. That is session done for the Alpine driver. And now that we're kind of done here, any driver cross the line, this is the put up or shut up lap. Kermit started a run. We also got Lesty as well about to start a run, and Reds all behind him, so they get one and only one attempt. So Maddie about to come through Sector 2 here. Then we're going to cut the Kermit and see where he is at the end of Sector 1. So Maddie Currently, only running about the same times he did before. Needs to find a little bit more time in third sector. Here comes Kermit with a minute to go. He is 2,600 up on his times. So, not high enough to get to P1, but could put himself a little bit higher up to give himself some breathing room. Lesty down going to Sector 1 by 0.49. And I think Maddie made a mistake. He has. He spun the back end there, and that will be no chance of improvement for him. And it's going to probably be set, well, he's probably got enough time he could still get around and go for another attempt if he so chooses, but he's going to have to hurry it up. Kermit through Sector 2. We'll see where he is at that time window. It's going to be always 1/10 up on his times, so he doesn't look good to improve. He's going to have to find some time in that third sector. Lesty at the end of Sector 2. Again, no improvement for him. So 2 and 3 currently not improving at all. We also got Kai's F1 coming through the end of Sector 1. We'll keep an eye on him in a second. We'll cut the Reds. Reds for well over a second clear. That will put him in a 1:32 range. Maddie pulling in the pit lane. That is session done. Kai's F1, 3 attempts up on his times. So Kai's would be currently about a 1:31 range. Reds would be about a 1:32. So that will put him P3 and P4 respectively. So we're going to cut the Kermit. He's going to cross the line here, and it's going to be a 1:31.889. Not enough to steal pole away from Maddie. Here comes Lesty. Down the long straight to the run, deployment used out, and it's going to be an improvement, but not enough to jump any higher. So it's only going to be P2 for him. Sorry, P3 and no higher. Red's up next. Coming down the long straight, it's going to be a 1:31.365, and he'll snatch it away from Maddie. Maddie down the P2. We got Kai's and Leaky last here. Leaky coming for the last corner here. Can he jump any higher? Can he get closer to his teammate? It's going to be a 1:33.704. No improvement, which means we're down to 3 drivers. We're down to Scanny, and we're down to Kai's F1. Both Mercedes drivers. How high can they get? We got Kai's F1 through the last corner here, and looking good to be a pole run here. It's going to be a 1:31, but where will it be? It will be a 1:31.502. Reds will take most likely pole position unless Scanny has an answer back, but Scanny's well over a second up on his times. So here we see what happens here. Scanny coming for the last corner here. He needs to beat a 1:31.365 that pole. I don't think he's got it in him, as it looks like it's going to pass here. It's going to be a 1:32.706. I believe, I want to say that is P6, but I'm not 100%. But that is qualifying done here for the final round of Season 7. And Reds keeps the message going here with Reds having pole position. Kai's F1 in second, Maddie in third, Kermit in fourth, Lesty in fifth, Scanny in sixth, Leaky in seventh, Smitty in eighth, Assasspot ninth, Infinity in 10th, who's Irish, and Exelic does not set time, and Collins elects to just retire straight out. And that will be your time. And only other thing worth noting is Smitty will have a free choice of tire, as he'll be on, well, not free choice, he'll be starting on a medium while everyone else inside that top 10 will be on a set of softs. And that is qualifying done. While I take a quick look, I'll take a look at the chat here. Got to do that as we started. Hello to you, Jamie. Hello to you, Lesty. And Kermit with the checker flag is always try to be one of the first people to comment in this stream. So good to see Kermit always showing up for these streams, even though he's technically racing as well. So 2 out of the 3 drivers are racing. So yeah, looks like it's going to be a nice dry day here in China. No real risk of rain, as I would assume. But again, you never know. We do wait for them to make last second adjustments. Again, only drivers that get free choice of tire are going to be Collins and Exelic. Everyone else stuck on the tires they qualified on. So yeah, I'm going to take a quick sip of water here, and I will join you in 18 seconds. Sorry about that quick little interruption there. We are back here as they are now leaving the grid spots here. Reds leads the way, as he's kind of always led for most of these. When he's been here, he's usually been the pole sitter ahead of Kai's, but Kai's has a lot more wins than Reds does. So it is a situation where it seems like Reds is fast, but he just kind of struggles to keep the pace on Sundays. I remember from Brazil, he was kind of toe-to-toe with Kais, and then ended up just making a couple mistakes, and that ended up costing him dearly. So, does need to keep it relatively clean, as they would say, but he could probably try. Again, this is a season of wonders. As I said before, you're only good as your last race, so if he has a good race here, he could put himself in at least a good spot for next season if he does able to show up a little bit more. So we'll see what the driver can do. Then we got Kais, Maddie, Kermit, Lesty, Scanny, Leaky, Smitty, Assassinbot, Infinite, Exelic, and Collins. Check the 2 tires Collins and Exelic went on. Collins went on a set of hards, which is a bit shocking, but thinks he can make it a little bit longer, maybe trying an alternate strategy, and Exelic going on a set of softs. So yeah, we just wait this out here. We do got a little bit of radio chat from Lesty, kind of calling the qualifying session, knowing that you always see Reds and Kais going 1-2 on their final laps here, which is correct. It seems like then that same season with Reds and Kais both being the same session, it always seems like they're usually top 2 when it comes to qualifying. They've been kind of the cream of the crop, with Kais being on that tear, and Reds is a bit more consistent, both in showing up and on track. I think he could have been a real threat that season, and maybe because he was a threat last season, but sadly just came just short to dethroning King. And again, with just having consistency problems in both showing up and on track, it kind of cost him here today. But if he's able to show up a little bit more for Season 8, he could be a real title threat along with some other drivers as well. But back to Reds. He'll line them off on the grid here. We got 28 whole laps. Should take the tire thing off the screen. I'll throw a quick prediction out there. I'm going to say Reds wins the race, Kai second, and then we'll say Lesty third. There we go. There's a prediction. Waiting for the 5 red lights. And away they go. Very quiet there for a second. Got no engine noise there. But here we go. Looks like the Mercedes behind is getting a little bit squirrely on the Haas there. They're going to go 3 wide. I do not like the sound of that. It looks like they got relatively okay. We do got Assassinbot going a little bit wider. I think it was Jay Leaky. One of the Williams went wide as there's still 3 wide in the back there. They're getting argy-bargy. Scanny going to try to hang it around the outside there on Maddie. Can he make it work? He'll successfully. So Scanny taking no prisoners there is going to make it work. We got Lesty making a move back here in P6 as well. Can he make the lunge on Kermit? He'll not be able to hang it out on the outside like Scandy did. Actually, he's still there, so hold on a minute. He's going to have the inside for the corner. They do touch wheels there, and it's going to be Lesty getting on ahead. So Lesty in 5th, Kermit going to fall down to 6th here, and could be under the prize from Exelic. Exelic got a great start there. Currently P7, that's about 8. I think Smitty may have made a slight mistake off launch, along with Jay Leaky, as they both fall in the 10th and 11th respectively. But to quickly reassess the field here, we got Reds in 1st, Kais in 2nd, Scanny works his way up to 3rd there, taking good advantage of the start. Maddie 4th, Lesty 5th, and I think Excelic's made a move on Assassinbot. They have. Assassinbot really struggling. Could end up getting passed here by Collins if they're not careful. Kermit 6th, Exelic 7th, Assassinbot 8th, Collins 9th. Ooh, there goes someone around there. It's our hard into the wall. It almost looks like the brakes failed. It is Exelic. They're still got the wing on, but the tires are going to be completely roasted, and they're going to have to try to pull it out there and recover. Actually, I think the wing may be relatively okay, but that looked like a very hard crash there. But back up, we got Collins making a move on Assassinbot. So Collins to 7th, Assassinbot down to 8th, as Red does set the fast lap of this race. Lesty getting to the back of Maddie here. Could even make a lunge up corner 1 if he tries to, but yeah, a little bit too far back to make anything happen. But Scanny, again, top 3, kind of falling back from the top 2. Kind of been a theme you've seen most of the season, where the top 2 kind of broken away from 3 onwards back. Exelic, I think, actually didn't hit anything, which is shocking, because that looked like they were on a fast track for the wall. But surprisingly, the wing's still on. So they lost time, but not going to lose time by taking a pit stop. Maddie goes a little bit wide there. Could open the door for Lesty and the Williams. We'll ride more here with Kermit, see if when Lesty tries to do anything. Again, Kermit backs down here. Really struggling with that corner because, again, if you don't have the right downforce in it, that car can kind of make mistakes. But if you sacrifice downforce for that if you put downforce in it for that corner, you lose it on the straight. So it's a bit of a sacrifice. Do you want to be good in the corners, or do you want to be good in the straights? But again, Lesty thinks about making a move, but not close enough to make anything happen. Again, Maddie's also caught the clutches of Scanny here, fighting for the last podium here, kind of top 4, all in a bit of a blanket here. And we'll see if anyone can make a lunge, because DRS will be activated next time by. And we could have a bit of a DRS train forming. Further back, we got Collins in 7th, Assassinbot in 8th, Smitty in 9th. Actually, we'll stay in this battle. I'll just report that, yeah. As it does look like Smitty could make a lunge there on Assassinbot, getting relatively close. Actually, he is going to make a lunge here. Goes a little bit deep on the entry there. Going to touch wheels there and going to kind of barge Assassinbot out of the way. The two main runners of F2 not liking each other that much there. A little bit of an argy-barginess. All's fair in love as war says. Jay Leakey going to try to hang around the outside of Assassinbot. And Assassinbot at least hold on to P9 at the moment. And Jay Leakey gets 3 from multiple warnings. So, being a bit of a naughty boy, has cut at least 1 lap. Obviously went wide that run. But going to keep it relatively clean. So back up to the battle here for 4th and 5th. I sense a pass maybe happening here. Scanny gets a poor entry and exit. So it's going to open the door for Eddie to make something happen. Will he outbrake Scanny here? Going to try to hang it around the outside. Doesn't usually happen, but he gets good enough traction. It could work. Scanny going to get a little squirrely. Maddie going to back it down. And here comes Lesty. Can he make something happen? Survey says no. We do have Yellow Flag Sector 2. I think that's Jay Leakey's lost it. Along with Infinity, maybe. So I think they may have touched. Jay Leakey may have outbroken himself there and could have maybe taken Leakey with him, but obviously didn't get good eyes on it, and we don't have cameras all around the track, so I can't tell you what happened. Assassinbot is a bit slow. Again, Maddie in the back here. I sense a pass happening this time by. Take a quick look at the telemetry. Maddie's got about 73% ERS. Kermit actually made a move on Leslie's. Leslie's made a mistake. As I was thought he was going to be able to be okay, I think he got a little squirrely off entry, or I guess exit, as I would say, and he's lost the back end, and he's got it refired, but he's going to be on the clutches. I don't think he hit anything, but obviously a little bit of egg on his face. Back to the battle here as well. Maddie getting good toe, but not going to get enough to make a lunge on Kermit. Words. Maddie couldn't make a lunge on Scanny as well. Assassinbot has made a pass on Leslie as they're side by side here. Can the Williams keep the Alpine behind? Yes, he can. So Leslie 8th. Assassinbot down the 9th, as Kermit going to be the first driver in this top echelon to pit, as now Maddie makes a move on Scanny. Late cut there, but Maddie has successfully got around Scanny, waited for that long straight, maybe playing a little bit of chicken and possum, but Maddie up the 3rd, Scanny down the 4th. Then Kermit, we'll see what he elects to go on here. I assume on a set of mediums mediums. So he'll be on a set of mediums. Exotic all spinning as well, probably go on a set of mediums. So we'll take it as we get a little second breathe. Not missing anything up front. Reds has gotten 1.8 clear Kai's. Kai's about to be 2 seconds behind. Maddie 4 behind that battle. Scanny and Maddie still in kind of a fight. Collins 5 back on Scanny. Smitty on the back of Collins. Lesty 2 behind that, with Assassin 1 behind him. And Infinity 3 behind Assassin, with Kermit obviously pitting. Will probably come out. I think he's trying to go for the undercut here, and I think he could successfully do it. So the question mark is, when will Maddie and Scanny elect to come in? I assume they want to try to cover their bases, but if they stay out too long, the undercut could be more potent. But at the same time, there is the risk that if they obviously will have fresher tires by the end, so they can make more strategies work. So we'll see if any of the soft runners elect to come in this time by. Looks like no one is electing to come in here. We'll see if Maddie takes... Oh, actually, Kai's is coming in, so Scanny can't come in. So Kai's going to come in, try to maybe get some ground on Reds, go for the undercut, see what Kermit did. Maybe he thinks it's time for his window. The rest of the field will stay out. I know tires can degrade pretty quickly around here. Remember from F1 2020, you can go 9-10 laps on a set of tires, as I think an Alpine is a little bit slow off the straight. He's lost the back end coming off the last corner. Reminds me of Giovanetti when he first drove for that Sauber, as Exelic is also retired on track, and that's going to be a safety car. So field has been neutralized, as Jay Leakey's going to be able to come in here. But I think right now that is what you want to see if you're Kermit and you're Kai's, because now everyone at the field's going to get to go around again. But Reds is basically going to have to negate to a Delta, and I honestly wouldn't be shocked if Kai's can make up some time here on this pit stop window, because he's going to obviously stay out. But obviously pit stop Delta, we'll have to wait and see, but honestly, with the field being neutralized, he could gain a little bit of time on some drivers. We'll wait and see how it shakes up here. Maybe hoping it came out 1 lap later, maybe, but we'll have to wait and see on that front how it all shakes up here. But obviously, Jay Leakey pitting, he's probably going to come out P11 regardless. Assassinbot obviously going to limp it around here. I don't think he has damage, but obviously we'll just get the pit anyway if he does, so free choice, a tire for him. I think Reds will still come out in the lead, but the question mark is how much time can Kai's gain? So again, most likely going to take the hard right here. I think the only driver that may not come in is obviously Collins because he's on a set of hards. Smitty may also stay out as well, but with him losing time, he may also elect to come in as well, maybe try an alternate strategy. So Red's coming in, Maddie coming in. We got Scanny obviously taking the hard right in the pit lane. Collins going to probably stay out. Smitty as well could come in. Actually, Collins, no, staying out. Smitty coming in. Lesty going to follow him in. We got Finny and Kai's both coming in as well. But honestly, yeah, Reds is going to come out with the lead. Well, not the lead, but come out second. Maddie going to come out as well. So I think I may have made a mistake as Lesty speeds in the pit lane there, tries to get all he can, and ends up hurting himself there. So Kai's is going to end up coming out P4. So just, yeah, actually, no time lost there. Maddie almost comes out ahead, so he ends up kind of Chrising and averting himself at the very least. With Kai's coming out just ahead of Maddie and Scanny, but there is going to be a buffer car between Reds and Kai's with Infinity being said buffer car. But Reds also has to work his way around the Red Bull as well. So both drivers are going to have to work their way around. As Assassinbot has put on a set of intermediate tires. Let me just look out the window here. Yeah, it looks pretty dry, so I think he's having a bit of a laugh here. Which I don't blame him. But, yeah, intermediate tires. Bit of an odd strategy choice. Unless the rain is coming with the next lap or two. But it looks so bright and blue, I doubt that is going to happen. J-Leaky probably not too thrilled because he's currently in P11, and he can't pass Assassinbot. And that safety car is so far away, Assassinbot's going to have to try to get the move on, get the hurry up. J-Leaky's getting kind of cost time here. So a little bit of a get on, move on, kind of give him a little bit of a hurry up tap, but with his hand. But we'll have to wait and see how it shakes up. But anyway, back to the point. We got Collins leading the way, Red second, Infinity at third, Kai's fourth, Infinity elects to pit. That would allow Kai's one more spot. Maddie fifth, Scanny sixth, Kermit seventh. So Kermit ends up actually not gaining any time. Probably would have. So actually, that safety car was kind of a bit of a neutral, where he didn't lose any time, but he didn't gain any time. And it actually allows drivers like Lesty, who made a mistake, Smitty as well, to get a free tire choice, and a few other drivers to get back in this race. So it is a bit of a neutralizer where if you made a mistake, it does allow you to get back, though. So the safety car did benefit a few drivers, but probably hurt Kermit and Kai's, as they probably could at least made good inroads on the drivers they were chasing, but now going to be stuck behind them and with slightly older tires. Safety car obviously staying out one more lap because Leaky and Assassinbot have not caught up. Infinity actually is electing to pit, so that is going to allow Kai's to catch up one more spot, and will basically be on the back of Reds here, along with the rest of the field, leaving Collins as the only driver. Actually, something else worth noting is Reds is on a set of hards. So he is going to be a bit slower on the start, but could go longer in the teeth. I think it's a stretch to say he could, well, we'll go on lap 8. That would be 21 laps on a set of hards. I don't think that's possible, as now Assassinbot is pitting. Probably going to put on an actual tire set here. But we'll have to wait and see. Leaky going to inherit 10th. We'll see what tires he puts on. Maybe he'll put on full wets. Sorry to kind of take now and put on a set of softs here. Gonna actually put down a time here. But anyway, take a second. We got Collins leading the way, Reds, Kai's. Reds is gonna be a bit slow off start, but gonna be longer too. Also, Scanny's on a set of hards as well. So, along with Infinity, so maybe they think they can make it to the end. If softs could go about 10-ish laps, 6 could go about 6 laps they use, and we assume the extra lap, they go 7 or 8. You can really stretch it into 10 if you want to, so quick maths time. Probably 14, 15. It's safe to assume they could make it. But they're not going to be fresh. So Reds, Scanny, and Infinity are playing the long game here. They think they can hang on to it, stay close, and then take advantage of basically not having to pit again, while the rest of the medium runners and Assassinbot are going to obviously pit one more time. The rest of the medium runners are obviously going to pit for a set of softs. Smitty has to pit for a set of softs because he qualified a set of mediums, and Assassinbot's obviously probably going to go on a set of medium tires when he pits. So, yeah, interesting strategies here. Safety car is coming in this time by, so we're riding aboard here with Kai's. Collins controls the pack here, which is probably something Reds is not the biggest fan of, because if he was controlling it, he could get some cover here, but with two hard runners behind a set of softs, they could be a little bit on the struggle side here. Safety car still doesn't come in yet. Once it hits the pit lane, Collins can go. So still going to have to wait this out here. Sandspot just caught the tail end, so he'll be okay. Safety car has not hit the pit lane yet. Still waiting. Still waiting. All right, safety car is in this time by. Oh, is in the pit lane. So Collins can go whenever he so chooses. Probably going to back him off the corner entry here just to kind of back it up to get some extra wheel spin here. Looks like Collins is, ooh, Reds gets 5 for collision with Collins. Stewards could remove that, but we'll have to wait and see how they rule it. So Reds probably going to be a little bit pissed at the Red Bull there, and here we go. Kai's F1 could make a lunge here on Reds up the inside of corner 1 here. Doesn't get enough on the better traction with those mediums. Can he make it happen? Collins going to shut the door here. They're going to be side by side. Collins going to block it off there. Nowhere to go. They're both hitting the Red Bull. Tell him to get the F out of the way. You're costing us time, as Kai's F1 has inherited second place on those mediums. Not what Reds wanted to see. Kai's now going to make a lunge on Collins. Again, Collins going to hold the outside here, but again, traction for Kai's, as we do see Lesty and Kermit fighting. Kermit going to lose 6 to Lesty. Want to stay on this battle for now, because this is for the lead. Again, we got Kai's just getting all over the tail end of the chuff of Collins. And Reds there as well. All 5 kind of in a blanket here. Collins basically being a safety car, as they would say. I like Collins. He seems like an okay person, but he's really holding him up. He has parked the bus, and we'll see if a pass happens here. We got Kai's, Reds, Matty.